Senator Zisser.
I think first of all, this is an awesome bill. I think it's good that we're like growing this club. But you mentioned that they can have more video cameras, but there's no video cameras on this list that I see. Are they going to purchase more in the future, or is this like just like a startup bill and they'll get bills?
That's pretty much it. Yes, to have a startup equipment to get to be more attractive to students, and based on the amount of interest of students, definitely that's going to allow more room for growth. Perhaps dues. These things are in the future. This is just for them to start off, to expand, which is something that I've been trying to do, is get small clubs to grow.
Senator Montes.
So for it seems to me this is actually a bill more meant not for them to expand, for them to more improve the current process they have with their cameras, improve what they can currently do with their single camera that they have. Is that correct?
Exactly.
Okay.
Senator Garrett.
Are we officially a service for ASUCM and or the Prodigy? Because you mentioned, at least during the Budget and Finance meeting, that they're working with the Prodigy now and they're always present at every Senate meeting. So I was just wondering.
Yeah, I'm not sure if they're a partner with the ASUCM. I know for a fact that they are with the Prodigy. Can you answer that? Are you officially with the ASUCM?
There were talks about doing that, but I don't think we're like officially a service. No, I'm not entirely sure.
Senator Wong.
I do like this bill. At the same time, in my understanding anyway, is that this is not a pressing thing, so I'm not sure, there's no specific events that they're planning to film or take pictures of. They just want to because that's their hobby type of thing. So I'm not sure why ICC is not available. I understand this, we just passed that week of the beginning of the month to get the big ticket item, but because it's not set a specific time, like conferences and trips, like other organizations might be proposing. In my understanding, I don't understand why we can't go through ICC, especially because Senate is running low, and our job specifically is mainly geared towards trips and conferences that ICC cannot do. And my next question was, how many people are in this organization?
This organization has about 8 to 10 members. They're a small organization. I see your point on going through ICC. I think ICC is more for on-campus activities. Like you said, it's not more of a pressing issue. It's just something they want to have. But I don't think they want to say they're committed to something if they don't have the equipment to do so. So by obtaining this equipment, they can now say, hey, you know what, we can do this for you. And we can actually work with these organizations, without having to worry that they have to lack equipment. So I see your idea with ICC, but I'm not going to budge just to, make it clear. I think bringing it at the table is a good place for something like that.
Senator Brown.
Okay, so as Senator Jones said, I like it. Yes, Senator Jones said, to be fair with the process, though, we would need to take the amount that we already have post the cuts that we've already established and then ask to raise 10% of that. So I motion to amend to.
I'd rather take it to a vote. I don't agree with that. 20,000, 30,000 to 20,000 to 30,000 is not a big,
The amount of it is irrelevant.
Yeah, like I said, I say no to it. We should just take it to a vote.
Okay, so what's your amendment you say?
To cut 10% off of the 3176.65 that they fundraise.
Okay. So there's been a motion to amend this bill to add the amendment that they will fundraise 10% of the cost. Is there a second? Senator Zisser. Second by Senator Zisser. It's just a vote, right? Discussion.
No, put it to discussion. Just a couple of minutes.
Okay, so discussion. Okay, now the discussion, the amendment. Oh yeah, discussing the amendment. Senator Gilman.
Well, as Senator Jones and Senator Brown have stated, yes, it is fair because we also did that for Sigma Chi. We cut it down from an initial value of like $14,000 to about half of that. No, a little more than half, and then we said 10%. So that's what we did.
Senator Brown.
Yeah, just as a note, I'm not doing this because of the amount. I'm doing this because of the principle. We've established that we're going to do this.
Any more discussion? Okay, so all those in favor of adding this amendment to the bill, please raise your hand. Okay, Senator Jones, Senator Hernandez, Senator Escamilla, I'm sorry, Senator Escamilla, Senator Mercado, Senator Daniel, Senator Tees, Senator He, Senator Zisser, Senator Armando, Senator Wong, Senator Taylor, Senator Garland, and Senator Brown. All those opposed? Senator Rosenberg and Senator Gray. Okay, so this amendment has been added to the bill. Can you please state that?
Where was it? The one word?
Like be further enacted? It's your amendment.
That RAM, or that the club fundraise 10% of the final amount.
Can you make it more explicit to where are they gonna receive the money and then they have to be paid back the 10%, or you're gonna give them minus 10%?
Well,
Yeah.
so the way that, I'm going off of the way that it was sort of stated in the bucket ban bill.
Yes,
Which,
make it explicit.
the way it seemed there was that they fundraised 10% of the cost, and it was never made clear whether, at least in that bill, it was never made clear whether that amendment meant that they would be locked into fundraising 10%, and until they fundraise 10%, they're locked out of the rest of the amount, or if they can spend the money now and we're just cutting 10% off of that. Because right now, as it says, and the way it said before, was that they're almost locked out of the amount of money before they raise 10% of it. That they're supposed to spend that full amount, but they're only allocated 90% of it.
There you go.
Would you like the numbers for after the 10% and how much 10% of the amount that we have agreed on equals? So like how much ASUCM is paying in total?
Yes,
Okay, so the total after the 10% is $2,858.99. And the 10% of the value that was agreed on after cutting things out of the bill was $317.67.
So how do you want to kind of work for this?
Okay, so go back up to the,
Just say 2,000.
so.
Senator Mondo?
The way I understood it working for the fundraising part was that they would receive the funds to purchase for the full value and then pay back ASUCM that 10%, the value that we stated we wanted back. I believe that's a fair way, and I think that if it wasn't expressed, stated clearly in a previous bill, we should have, in this bill, and from now on, set that precedent. Because I do think it is incredibly fair for them to get the full value that what they're asking for after it's been cut now to approximately $3,100. And then in the future, by the end of the year, they find the funds to pay us back the remaining amount. I'm not sure what kind of tool we want to use to not force them, but to make sure they actually do pay us back. But I do believe that is the fair thing to do, seeing as how if we do it, if we just cut the 10% out of it, they're going. It doesn't. We may as well just make the cuts and not call it fundraise 10%. It's pretty much the exact same thing that we just did before this.
Oh, yeah, they're at 45 seconds. Senator Mondo?
Motion to extend time by 5 minutes.
There's been a motion to extend time by 5 minutes. Is there a second? Senator Gray? Second by Senator Gray. Any discussion? Anyone opposed? Okay, time is extended by 5 minutes. Senator Brown?
Okay, yeah, I do think that's fair. I was going off of what happened on the other bill, but I actually do think that's a little fair. So if I could, I would motion to remove the second be it further enacted and just cut 10% from the first be it enacted. Because, I mean, is that what you're talking about?
No, I'm saying we give them the amount that we had just cut it to, with what I just asked Emmanuel to cut to, and then after they receive the amount to buy everything they want to, they then, with their current new equipment and the organization will find a way to pay us back 10% of what they use. So they pay us back the 317.
Okay, so I rescind my motion.
So I just felt that was something that should be expressly stated we should decide. Now, we don't have to do that necessarily, but it's something we should decide if we're going to keep on doing this to organizations. Budget and finance will try and take it under consideration to find a place in the financial bylaws to put that.
Oh, wait.
Point of privilege, we're going to recess, so you guys can figure out what you guys are going to do, and I got to go talk to you.
Okay. Adam, go figure that all out.
So, after having a discussion with Ken, were we to do this amendment, that would be the way I want to word it, want it to be worded. Though, I do think originally what I tried to do just would be to just cut 10% off it, would be a little bit easier and a little bit better, because like it's weird to, the only distinction between saying this and just cutting 10% off of it would be us saying you need to pay for everything you say you're gonna pay for, and we expect you to pay us back for it, which is really odd, because when we're giving them a block amount of money, we can just say, this is how much we wanna give you for it, do what you will with that amount of money. We shouldn't be saying to them, we're not gonna give you all the money that we want, we're not gonna give you all the money that you're asking for, because we're only gonna give you the amount that we want to give you, but we're also gonna make you pay for more than we're giving you. So, it seems really odd, and it seems a little bit too forceful. Plus, Ken had some concerns over having to be sort of a collector for ASUCM.
Senator Mondo?
So does this just mean then, whenever someone comes to us asking us to help them purchase something, we're just going to cut 10% off of it no matter what, every time it comes to us if we do that? Because that's kind of what we're saying with that. They don't even have to fundraise, they just don't need to get that money then, 10% is just gone.
Senator Jones?
Okay, so about this, yes, I do feel uncomfortable about saying, I do not feel very comfortable saying at the treasurer's, by the treasurer's discretion. That does not, I just don't understand, I just don't believe that under the financial, I'm not sure if under the financial bylaws I can really do something like this, telling them to pay us back a certain amount of money. I know that with, if it's something we fund, if something ASUCM funds that is supposed to fund the money, we can say, oh, we would like the money we gave you, the money, your profit plus 10%, that's in the bylaws, but under something like this where we're saying we're gonna give you this amount of money, however the 10% you must pay back to us, there's nowhere really in the bylaws that actually describes that. And so for my feelings, because I feel like that's a little abuse of power in my mind, maybe abusing loopholes in the bylaws, it should just be where you're just gonna cut another 10% off of it, because once again, I don't want to have to abuse. I would like for me not to abuse a loophole like that if there is one.
Senator Zisser?
Just to address Senator Mondo's point, some clubs do come to us and they do already have like pitch in their own money. They already have fundraised. So I don't think we'll cut off 10% automatically to everybody, just the ones that haven't fundraised like this one.
Senator Brown?
Well, so far, I think, since we've made a distinction between investments, like future investments and one-time events, then we're not like this 10% cut isn't necessarily holding us to every bill that comes through us. Because we've made a clear distinction between investments and one-time events. And were this to be taken from the carry forward, it would be in the exact same hole as the ban bill. But the thing is, I really don't think we should be forcing them to pay an amount, but telling them we're not going to give them that full amount. I'd rather just tell them we're not giving them that full amount and they can do with the money what they want.
Well, I mean, I guess we have to figure out what's basically going to happen with the Bobcat ban then outside of this meeting. But when it comes to the money, we end up having to tell them to fundraise. But I mean, with this bill then, we've already cut about 10% out of the bill. So we kind of already accomplished that task then, if that's what you're going to put in there. It's been done. You can just edit the number a little bit to reflect that 10% exactly, but we've already done that then.
Senator Jones?
So I feel like if we're gonna say, okay, don't fundraise, we're just gonna cut it, then I feel like we already cut it with that initial cost. So I don't think that if that's what we're saying, that we're just gonna cut it and not give you that money instead of giving you that money and making you pay us back, then we already made that initial deduction when they cut off everything that was under us. That's something we just to take into consideration.
Yours are at 5 seconds. for a second. Senator Gray.
Motion to extend time by 3 minutes.
Motion has been a motion to extend time by 3 minutes. Is there a second? Senator Armando.
Second.
Second by Senator Armando. Senator Gray.
That's my question about everybody concerned about Bobcat. Again, yay. I mean, it's just something that I noticed. I mean, how are we really gonna hold these clubs accountable? And that's something I've discussed enough with enough here. Accountability. You said the same thing he said, and I'll completely agree with both of you guys. I mean, we already made a cut. Everything under $100. I mean, it's already hard enough for this club to fundraise. To cut 20% is really limiting them to nothing less than like professional. We want to get them things that are going to represent them as professional and make the school look professional. And by reducing almost $700 on this bill, I think it's a little unfair. I think 10% was just.
Senator Prado.
I agree, the bill actually cut down 20%, and we're not, no one to judge what kind of equipment they're buying. And by us telling them, okay, cut down everything under 100, it's being picky. And it's like deducting a lot, honestly, because it's like they put it there for reference, they don't put it there so we can take away what you want to take off. And if you didn't have the list of the material that they're going to need, you only have the amount. So if we only had the amount, you will only take away 10%, honestly.
So I think our next step should be, we simply remove the second for be it further enacted, or we remove the be it further enacted, and then edit the cuts we made down below to reflect 10% of the original value. So it's, can you go down to the bottom where we made that change? Okay, so, or Sam, what was that number again? The number, how much we cut from the bill already? I thought the value was
First
listed right
time
there.
or the second?
The first time.
The first time, we cut $397.23, so the total after would be $3,176.65.
Okay, so we cut slightly more than 10% on that, and it fits even, and by doing that, it fits very evenly with what they're already purchasing, and that will give them a clear path to go for and how they're going to find the funding to get the rest of that. So I think we should just simply remove the second be further enacted and admit that we have already cut greater than 10% of the bill. I'll leave it.
Well, you can't accept it because it was voted in, so you.
Right, I know, that's why I was thinking, do we have to make a vote to remove this, or is it an amendment I'm asking Adam to make on his own thing? What's the process?
Well, I mean, you could
I mean,
make
No,
no,
it's just, we haven't, like, this has never happened, so there's a lot of things that we're still trying to get through.
Well, as a point of order, I mean, like, any amendment, I mean,
The bylaws.
No, what I meant was, I myself personally didn't want to make that removal. I want someone at the table to do that.
Senator Brown, do you have those two?
well, I mean, in all honesty, yeah, I think it's better.
5 seconds.
Oh,
2 seconds. Senator Daniel.
I motion to extend the discussion time by 2 minutes.
Can you do it more than 2 minutes? Because I don't think.
5 minutes.
There's been a motion to extend time by 5 minutes. Is there a second? Senator Zisser. Second. Seconded by Senator Zisser. Any discussion? Anyone opposed? 5 minutes. Let's try to do longer times because, you know, small increments, we're just going to keep doing it. And if it's longer time, we can just move to vote and it's over. So 5 minutes. Senator Brown was finishing his thought.
so, I mean, I do think that just cutting 10% as opposed to gridlocking them out of it was the right decision, but it is the right decision, but I mean, if you just want to cut 10% out of this bill, you cut over 30% out of the last one. Between $8,000 in cuts and then another $2,000 in fundraising, you cut over 30% of the bill. So
Senator Brown, let's keep discussion pertinent to the bill, please. That's not
I'm speaking of a precedent that's been set. So it's I don't want to take that down because it sticks with a precedent that we've already set. If someone else would like to, then obviously we're a collective body. So.
Senator Zisser.
I feel before the Senator or President.
Just in general,
Like, what do you think about the 10%? Because you talked about the Bobcat ban 10% thing. You kind of started that.
Yeah.
So I want to see if you think this is fair.
Okay. Just on what the last bill was, so if we give an organization $3,000,
President Brandon, can you try to keep it neutral in opinion, please?
what?
Can you try to keep it neutral in opinion?
I'm trying to.
Okay, just.
Yeah, if we give a club $3,000.
In the bylaws, he's allowed to keep it, so.
Yeah. So if we give a club $3,000 and at the table, we cut 10% as the fundraising 10%, we're giving them $2,700. They might just not purchase something, but they might not fundraise it. So if you put in $3,000 and have to fundraise 10%, and Ken is right, it is very unclear about how that process would work. That would mean to access, in my opinion, the $3,000, they would have to fundraise $300 of that, putting some like effort out, either taking club funds and putting it towards it, so actually spending money, not just kind of saying, oh, we'll just not buy this thing, spending money or fundraising on that. I do, as I mentioned in my report, think it would be important to add the service aspect. I know we, with Cipriano, had a number of meetings earlier in the year about trying to become a service. I think we're both on board. It's like that's a good thing for ASUCM. I like to have things that are in writing. I think that's really important just for accountability, which we're mentioning, is that this is similar to the Bobcat Band Bill as an investment in an organization, which will then, I think, help students in ASUCM in the future, that they become a part of us so we're able to make sure they're accountable to students and that they're doing it in the best interest of students and keep true to their tenet of not charging people for their operations, to be able to do it for free and to do it to help people.
Senator Mondo?
I'd like a motion to make an amendment to this bill and remove the second beat enacted.
Okay, so there's been a motion to make amendments to this bill to remove the second be it further enacted. Is there a second? Senator Wong? Second by Senator Wong. Any discussion? Okay, we are moving to vote. All those in favor of amending this bill to remove the second be it further enacted, please raise your hands. Senator Jones, Senator Gray, Senator Escamilla, Senator Pato, Senator Daniel, Senator Teese, Senator He, Senator Zisser, Senator Rosenberg, Senator Mondo, Senator Wong. All those opposed? Senator Brown, Senator Taylor, and Senator Gillum. Okay, so this the second bid for the enacted has been struck out. So
Just erase this since we added that, so I think you're going.
Yeah, just erase it.
Yeah, just erase it. okay, so we are now back up. Senator Wong.
I just want to state that we have to remember who our constituent is. I'm not sure if they would be happy for us to vote on this bill, just because they could go to ICC, and we have to make note that if we were to spend that amount of money, that could be one club going like for a traveling or conference that they cannot get from ICC, when this can, and it's not a pressing thing for them. And the other thing is, I encourage us, if we were to follow the principle on how to regulate bills, we shouldn't be comparing different organizations. That's not our right. We're supposed to be neutral. So just keep that in mind.
Senator Gray.
Yeah, I did want to add, President Brandon made points, I didn't meet with you, but I'm a little confused on how I would add that to the bill and how, like about kind of thing, where they would have to be committed when the time came for them to become service, not necessarily saying that they need to become service like tomorrow, but just when time calls for it, getting it done. So I don't know how to make that.
Time is up. Senator Gray.
Motion to extend time by 5 minutes.
Been a motion to extend time by 5 minutes. Is there a second? Senator Gray. Second by Senator Gray. Any discussion? Anyone opposed? Okay. 5 minutes. Senator Gill.
Would it be acceptable to make a friendly amendment that within a year, should this pass by Senate, they should become a service? They should have already become a service formally already.
I think that's adding pressure to them. I'm not saying that they're not trying to do that. You know, they're gradually getting to that point and getting comfortable with working other organizations. So by setting a time period, you know, I mean, they want them to fundraise, and like he said, if they become a service, it has to be free, and how can they get stuff if they only have a small amount? I think if we just make it noted that they're going to become a service once the time calls for it, I think that'd be a little more appropriate than setting a time period, because a year from now is not enough time for them to completely become a stable and consistent organization that provides services for students. But I like the idea though, so maybe if you can reword it where it doesn't include the timeline, maybe just open, I could totally be cool with that.
Senator Mondo?
You can simply say they will commit themselves to working towards becoming a student service, and then without the timeline. Though, I mean, it has been said in the past, bills don't extend past the end of the school, the end of the fiscal year necessarily, so, but they would at least have it, HSM would tell them, if you're gonna get this money, you will find a way to become a student service somehow eventually.
Is that an amendment?
I was just saying that's how she could reword her amendment, because her amendment hasn't actually been made yet, if she chooses to.
Senator Wong?
I don't really see the point in that, just because I'm not sure who's regulating it in the first place. And then second, if it ends in a fiscal year, then that defeats the purpose of that statement.
Senator Gill?
I think I might just make a resolution for like everything that like we wanted to become services, to be services, because I think resolutions extend past the fiscal year and go on to other years. Is that correct?
It's in the bylaws.
Well, it should say resolution.
It's legislation at the end of the year.
Senator Gray?
You have the floor, Jim. Can you answer that question without deviating? I think the question was, can the bill, if we put this in writing now, does it extend beyond the fiscal year?
It is clear that resolutions taken by ASUCM are a commitment, like the ones we passed in 2008 still apply. Bills, generally, Ivan's right, it's not really mentioned, but since they're mostly fiscal allocations, we don't, they normally end at the end of the fiscal year. So it's unclear if something that's not a fiscal allocation ends in the same year.
So a resolution would be something you would recommend to continue?
No.
Thank you.
But I can explain why, it's up to you.
No, thank you, that's fine.
Senator Wong?
I also want to clarify with the president, when we make something into our service for ASUCM, do we basically have to like sustain them financially? Yeah, I was asking CEO before.
Point of information, I can answer that.
I'll
Unless, oh, did she
yield
yield
the
you?
floor to him.
Then, yeah, then.
No, we don't. As a service though, it is kind of implied that we would then support them. But a service does imply also having like a set of bylaws on the table. I think literally the language used in the Bobcat and Band bill for the same thing, that they commit to going through the service process that Adam's creating right now. So when that is finished, they commit to going through it. That leaves ASUCM the flexibility to still decide, do we want this or not? But says that they will at least offer that opportunity for us to discuss at a later date. So I think that language was actually just fine. But no, it doesn't commit us to explicitly, but it kind of does obviously imply it. Yeah.
Because I don't know if future ASUCM Senates will agree to, if they want, Reach Authentic Media Equipment to be a service, could I make a friendly amendment to add it as, like another being enacted that they will commit to being a service?
Yeah.
Be it further enacted. Senator Jones? Senator Jones?
I don't know, I just feel like this is sort of becoming like dictatorship-ish, I know it's not a word, but of ASUCM to say like, okay, you will be a service, you have to be a service within a year, because honestly, I don't know if any of us on this table actually have the extensive knowledge of what it takes to become a service and how much work is put into becoming a service, so I don't really think it's really in our best judgment to say something like that when we really don't have the knowledge on it.
Joe seconds. Joe seconds.
I motion to extend discussion by 5 minutes.
You haven't been picked on, hold up. Okay, so we're at 0
You haven't
minutes.
been baked on?
Senator Daniels?
I motion to extend discussion by 5 minutes.
Been motion to extend time by 5 minutes. Is there a second? Senator Gray? Seconded by Senator Gray. Any
Oh,
discussion?
no, I don't second it, I thought,
Did you second it?
I don't second it.
Okay, there's a motion to extend time by 5 minutes. Is there a second? Okay, we're now moving to a vote. All those in favor of approving bill number 23, funding for Reach Authentic Media, please raise your hands. Okay, Senator Jones, Senator Gray, Senator Prado, Senator Tees,
Oh, no, sorry.
Senator Heath, Senator Heath, Senator Zisser, Senator Rosenberg, Senator Mondo, Senator Taylor, Senator Garland, and Senator Brown. All those opposed? Senator Escamilla, Senator Daniel, and Senator Bill number 20, funding for research and media passes.
He always gets first.
Can we not try calling out other people's votes, please?
I would never do that again.
Okay, so we are now at resolution number 6, the Collegiate Library Silent Space Policy, introduced by Senator Huso. Senator Mondo.
Motion to table resolution number 6.
For Colin.
Well, I thought it's.
Oh, yeah, it's automatically for a week, yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, so there's been a motion to table this for a week. Is there a second? Senator Gray?
Second.
Second by Senator Gray. Any discussion? Senator Brown?
I really don't think we should have to bring this back up. If we keep tabling it, it's going to become an agenda. And in all honesty, I would rather this bill be tabled indefinitely and completely overhauled.
Senator Mondo?
Well, the introducer isn't present to help with the discussion or give his own opinions on it, or even give his own edits that he probably has for this. So he asked that it be table free so you can come back with edits or new information or evidence as to why you should continue to do this. So you can make the decision to table indefinitely next week, I think, if you feel it's incredibly pertinent.
Yeah.
Any discussion? Anyone opposed? Okay, resolution number 6 has been tabled for a week. So bill number 24, funding for pre-optometry club trip to Western University for Pee-wee Days, introduced by Senator Jones. Senator Jones.
Motion to approve bill number 24.
There's been a motion to approve bill number 24. Is there a second? Senator Gray.
Second.
Second by Senator Gray. Committee reports, budget and finance.
The concern about the refund that Ken brought up did concern us. Though they are offering to pay more than 10% on their own, even though it goes to gas, which is something that we generally cut anyways, though them offering it up front does help, saves us time. We did suggest that they cut it from 3 rooms with 2 people per room to 2 rooms with 3 people per room, because current policy is fit as many people in the room as you legally can to save everybody money. And honestly, it's not that hard to sleep on a chair or a cot if they have it available. Other than that, with those recommendations, the bill was approved.
Academic first. So we didn't discuss. I guess unanimously.
Okay, so we brought up the just questions about how many students, like a percentage of the club is going and how many students are in the club, because we wanted to know how much of the club is actually benefiting from this. We really didn't know what gas travel expenses meant because travel is kind of vague. It's like, is this like registration fees? Is this also like actually renting a vehicle? Then we really liked the fact that it was like equal opportunity, like even with the gas travel expenses that they're paying 26%. So yeah, we voted unanimously approved with the
Student activities.
So for student activities, we agree with budget and finance. We don't see why, for every organization mostly, they probably go with 4 people per room, just to save money and make good use of student fees. And the other thing was, if I read it correctly, they're staying there for a day. It's not a 2-day trip, so we don't understand, or maybe we need some clarification why. There needs to be a stay for a hotel. If that's not necessary, we might not need the bill for the hotel and stuff. But other than that, we believe that's a good bill.
Is that everything? Okay, so to address your concern, they're going to Pomona, which is about 6 hours away. So we wouldn't want them having to leave super early, drive 6 hours there, and then turn around and drive 6 hours back. So we just felt that that was too much, and it was safer as a whole for them to stay at a hotel. And then for the travel expenses, they are taking cars and they're paying for that themselves, and they are paying for their own registration. For this, all they're asking for ASUCM is just their lodging. Wait, did I get all the questions, or was there another?
Yep.
Was that it?
Senator Wong.
Oh, and then, yeah, for the rooms, right? So with I can't remember, it was like 2 weeks ago, another club, we asked the same thing. Could they add more people, but then we ultimately voted against it. So we did let them have 2 people to a room. So that was the only thing, why there were 2 people to a room.
So they only have like single,
Senator Gillen.
They only have single beds, there's not
Oh,
like,
Senator Gillen.
there's not like a cot or couch, but we did address that. And then so, as far as the club, there are about 15 members, only 4 of which of the club are going, there are a total of 6 attendees. There are 2 outside of the club that are going to make up the total of 6. This was open to all students, and for students who weren't able to attend or to go to this, they plan on changing some of their club meetings into informational sessions, so bringing back what they learned from this, and also wanting to be able to have all UC Merced students have the equal opportunity of this knowledge, even though they weren't able to go, because Western University is only one of 3 universities in California that actually have an optometry school. And this club does go out of their way to provide, things like this. They go to get their club members certified in for vision screenings, which allows them to become more competitive applicants when they are applying for optometry school. And also they brought someone from a state university in New York, representative from that university to come here, and that was open to all UC Merced students to give an informational meeting more about optometry school and how to become like a more competitive applicant.
Any discussion? Okay, we're gonna be moving to a vote. All those in favor of approving bill number 24, funding for the PI Optometry Club, please raise your hands. Approved unanimously. Bill number 24 passes. Okay, so we are now at resolution